The winner of the nonprofit category is Chris Ham of HHA USA, a veteran-focused organization that hosts tournaments to raise money for veteran causes.
My name is Chris Ham from HHA USA, also from HHA Sports, and this year we've been honored to receive an Impact Award for our work with veterans through our military nonprofit, HHA USA. So for people that aren't familiar, the Honor Flight is a national organization. There's about 140 chapters around the country, and what they do is they send veterans of World War II, Korea, and Vietnam to Washington, D.C. for the day. Visit the memorials erected in their honor. So I had started as a ground volunteer 4 or 5 years ago for Honor Flight, our local chapter, and just fell in love with it. And driving home from the airport one night, I got thinking how I could use my for-profit business to raise money for them. So essentially what HHA USA does is we put on archery shoots around the state of Wisconsin, and then the majority of those monies go back to Honor Flight chapters in the state to send veterans to DC. There's quite a bit of work behind the scenes. I mean, unfortunately, we have some great partners as far as archery shops and archery clubs in the state that have opened their doors and really rolled out the carpet for us. So that takes a lot of the work out of it on our end. The bulk of what we do is soliciting our fellow manufacturers for donations that we use then for silent auction. So we raise a lot of our money through items that are auctioned off. So there's a lot of work that takes place before the weekend of the actual shoot. Unfortunately, these archery shops and archery clubs, that's what they do, is put on archery shoots. So we're able to kind of essentially just take our program and plug into what they're already doing. And then I've got a handful of volunteers that I've been blessed with over the last 3 or 4 years that have started to help me out at these things. So it's not just me, at the clubs and at the shops during the weekend, and then the shop owners, volunteers are helping out as well. So I've gone on the Honor Flight twice myself, once with a World War II veteran that I met here in town about 1.5 years ago. And then my father-in-law is a Vietnam veteran. So I was fortunate enough to be able to go on the flight with him last September as well. And then kind of a neat story, that morning of that flight, I met another gentleman that ironically was a hunter. He was in Vietnam, and he and I struck up a conversation and a friendship, and long story short, through a mutual friend, we ended up being able to send him on a bear hunt here in Wisconsin, just through connections. So it's really been neat to see what some of the side or some of the byproducts of just doing these shoots. We've met a lot of great people, and we've been able to bless some veterans and get them into the woods on some hunting adventures as well. And that's another thing that we do is to raise awareness for PTSD. Is our first 22% that we raise annually goes to 3 other organizations: Wounded Warriors in Action, the E3 Foundation, and the Neestead Foundation. And they that's their specialty, is they work to combat PTSD through getting veterans out on outdoor hunting and fishing experiences. It's very interesting getting to hear the stories from the veterans, because many of these men and women, they don't share these experiences with their own family even, and so it's really a day of healing and kind of closure for some of them. And so it's an awesome experience. I think probably the coolest part of the Honor Flights is when they come back that evening. There's a huge welcome home at the airport for them. So our local airport might have 800 or 1,000 people packed in there with signs. They've got marching bands playing, and it's a big welcome home celebration that a lot of these service members never got. So it's an awesome day, an awesome experience. You hear the testimonials from these people, and they say that it's this was the greatest day of my life. So it's just neat for us to be able to be involved and be able to contribute to that in a small way. There was a turning point in my life a few years back where I just decided that it wasn't all about me anymore. And we've all been blessed with a lot of great things in this country and a lot of success, and it doesn't take a lot to leverage that for some other cause, whether it be veterans or alcoholism or cancer. There's so many causes and so many different things in this country that need addressing, and there's people with hearts for that. So I would encourage anybody in the archery industry or any industry for that matter, just to use the gifts and talents they've been given for something bigger than themselves, and to give back to a cause, because there are there are a lot of other people that are passionate about those causes, and the more and more that I get into this, I see that, and those people will gravitate towards that cause. And when that happens, then that's when the magic happens, because then you really start to multiply the impact that you can have.
Suzetta Wise is the winner of the Youth Outreach Award for her work with Shoot Like a Girl and as an archery coach.